I'm contractually obligated to talk about the Ravens coaching search and all the staff movements and whatever. I think it's fascinating that that's like all the conversation on Ravens social media. Nobody's, and I understand we got to do coaching and all that. We're gonna have Jesse Minter's press conference on the channel tomorrow as well, so definitely check that out as well. Check out our Twitter page; it'll be on there as well. Our Facebook and Twitter. The press conference, you'll be able to watch it in full, so you'll be able to get a chance to do that. I just think it's fascinating that nobody's talking about what we're going to talk about tonight, the team needs and all that stuff as well. But obviously, we do have a change. So, a couple things here. Sean Flaherty is hired as the assistant offensive coach as well. He's from Atlanta. Dwayne Ledford is over as well as the offensive line coach. And so they're giving him these different titles now: pass game coordinator, run game coordinator, and the offensive line. Different titles, but assistant defensive offensive line coach. He'll assist Dwayne Ledford, who was hired yesterday as well. Notre Dame defensive backs coach Mike Mickens was hired as the DB coach. So he was the DB coach for the Fighting Irish. He will come with Jesse Minter and become the coach. He'll become the defensive backs coach for the Ravens as well. 39 years old, young guy, really, really young looking guy. Definitely now searching for an OC. So Todd Monken won't be returning in Baltimore as OC. Well, we'll get to that in a second. But Cliff Kingsbury and Declan Doyle were the two names that are out there. Cliff Kingsbury, I saw he's interviewing, if he hasn't already, with Tennessee as well. And Declan Doyle, the Ravens did ask permission to talk to Bears OC as well. 29 years old, young guy as well. So definitely did a good job with Caleb Williams there as well. And also Ravens hire offensive Ravens don't hire. The Browns hire offensive coordinator Todd Monken. Congratulations to Todd Monken becoming a head coach. Look, a lot of jokes for a guy who did a pretty good job as offensive coordinator the last couple of years. I felt bad for Monken today because there was a lot of people who aren't aware of him. I do want to say it's good for Shedeur Sanders because Monken is a guy that's going to tailor his offense to whatever Shedeur does well. And that tells me that he likes the way Shedeur is played. That's what that tells me why they hired Todd Monken here as well. So that's one thing as well with Todd Monken getting the job. So in division now, so you're going to get the offensive coordinator in division every year. He's going to know a lot about us as well. Former also Ravens DC Jim Swartz is no longer going to be there, was apparently in contention for the job. Word is he got very upset by the fact that he was not named head coach. I don't know exactly what happened. That's just a mess. That's typical Cleveland stuff, like not handling that as well. But do feel good for Todd Monken finally getting his opportunity. Look, 59 years old. You work hard for some, I'm going through that right now myself. Opportunity like that comes along, you take it. May never get a chance to be a head coach. Good for him. Good for Todd Monken actually getting that squared away. Now, get to a regularly scheduled program and team needs for the Baltimore Ravens. So last week we went over who's a free agent, who might be out there as well. We'll go over next week. We'll go over targets, possible free agent targets for the Ravens as well. Now that we actually have a coach, we definitely know a little bit more now. We definitely know better. So what does the team need going into 2026? What is the team actually looking at going forward next season, and what they are looking for as a team? Because you're building a team, because now we're in the team building season, the off season. Now, let's tell you what they're not gonna do. Right? So before we tell you what they're gonna do, what they definitely don't need. You don't need a starting quarterback. They're gonna keep Lamar Jackson. I don't care. I mean, you can forget that. They're definitely gonna keep Lamar Jackson. They're not looking for a running back. You got Derrick Henry under contract for another year. You got Keaton Mitchell probably coming back as a restricted free agent as well. So I don't see Justice Hill's under contract. So you're probably not looking for a running back. Maybe late in the draft, you never know, or something like that. Inside linebacker, you got Roquan Smith, you got Trent Simpson, and you got Teddy Buchanan as well. So Teddy Buchanan did finish the season with the injury. We'll see. I doubt they spend any money on inside linebacker. Even if they move somebody, I think they'll just go with the other two as well. Please, no more safety. So you got safeties as well. You drafted Malachi Starks in your draft. You signed Kyle Hamilton to an extension. Adarius still up in the air. Lowly Gilman is still up in the air. But I doubt they spend any significant dollars on a safety other than maybe rearing up one of those guys. Nose tackle, I think, is pretty secure. You went ahead and signed. You went ahead and re-signed John Jenkins, veteran John Jenkins, and Travis Jones. You're straight. I don't think they do anything else there. Even though we still don't know about Nani Maduke. I've been asking all week, trying to find out something. Nobody knows anything about Madubuke. The only thing I hear is refer to the HIPAA and we can't talk about it, and that's it. That's all anybody's talking about. I don't see any articles written. I don't see anything. That tells me nobody said anything. So no one knows. So defensive end may be something they're looking at. If they can get 90 back, and it doesn't look good that he's coming back, maybe not as well. Other things, backup quarterback, depending on what happens with Tyler Huntley, if you go ahead and sign him, you're certainly looking at that. Punter, only if you can't sign Jordan Stout, who's a free agent, very good free agent prospect last year. Fullback, I think we do this every year with Pat Ricard. Are they going to sign him? Are they going to give you another year of Pat Ricard? We talked about defensive end and center, kind of the same deal. I think you're only really looking for one if you go ahead and can't sign Linderbaum, if you don't franchise him, etc. All right, so what do you need? So wide receiver, I'm listing these in order I think of importance. Number 6, I think, is wide receiver. It's low on the list because you have a very good number 1 receiver coming up, maybe on an extension at some point for Zay Flowers. So that's a real thing that's coming. However, you got Zay Flowers, an extension for him. We'll see about that. Rashard Bateman. Again, stuff on Twitter, not happy with his role. Production was down, injuries. That's a thing. He's your number 2 receiver. I've always said Rashard Bateman is good enough to be a good number 2 receiver. Always said that. Always said he's plenty good enough. If you just keep him on the field and he's productive, no problem with that. DeAndre Hopkins all but admitted he doesn't think he's coming back. If you saw a recent interview with D-Hop, doesn't think he's coming back as well. And maybe up to a new coach. We'll see as well. Devontae Walker, I think, gets a bigger role regardless of what happens in the offseason. He's been productive in the small samples that he's got. This is year 3 for him. We will see what happens there. Tylan Wallace, I don't know about Tylan Wallace. I think maybe it's a special teams guy. It'll be interesting to see what happens there. And LeJohntay Wester, I think, comes back. I do think this is more of a draft thing, or if you can get a good receiver at some point in the draft, I think that's something here. Number 5, tight end. Obviously, the number 1 spot is still Mark Andrews. Mark Andrews signed a 3-year extension at the end of the year. So definitely Isaiah Likely. All 3 were free agents. Likely Andrews is off the board. Isaiah Likely, Charlie Kolar. Likely's unlikely to be back, I think. I think they can even go first round here in the draft. I don't know if they will, but definitely 2, if you can get on the board and sign it and get a tight end early, that's possible. I don't think that's completely off the reservation if they have him at the highest point of the board. Charlie Kolar, I have no idea what's going to happen with him. I think this could go either way. They could keep Charlie Kolar as well. I do think you may be looking for 2 tight ends. I think that could be the likely thing that happens, no pun intended, like where you assign 2 guys. 2 mid-round guys. I mean, a lot of these guys are mid-round guys as they came in, even though they've been Holter's spot. Andrew's 3rd round, likely I think was 4 or 5. Kolar was later. So we'll see what happens there. Definitely, 2, is something they're looking for to back up Mark Andrews as well. Offensive tackle. Again, not looking for starters. With Ronnie Stanley, you're always going to worry about his injury issues, his health injury. He was fairly healthy this season. I think he missed, 1 game, because of injury as well. Pretty solid. I think he's got 2 more years. I don't think you're looking to replace him. I don't think, but certainly it's something you're looking long term in the draft. It's getting also towards the time. This is year 3, I think, for Roger Rosengarten. So you're definitely looking for backup. You had nothing behind them. They played a lot of snaps last year as well. So Carson Vincent, I think we're going to see more of him. Developmental, definitely note boom. A veteran is coming here for sure. They're definitely too, I think, draft and all that, but I think a veteran is coming here. I definitely think they're going to need that as well. Vincent, again, we have no idea if he can play. I don't know if he played 20 snaps last year. Most Sundays he was inactive, healthy scratch. So I think even though that was by design, we'll see what we got here. I think this is more of a need. I had this higher than the other two because of the Stanley injury history. You may at some point need somebody here. Where I think the other positions, I think you'll probably get more during the course of the year. Stanley as your number one guy is you got to worry about his injury history as well. But I do think he's back. Cornerback's a little bit higher than what people might think. Marlon Humphrey, Awuzie, Nate Wiggins, Keon Martin, TJ Tampa, Blair Cone, and Longerbeam. Start at the bottom. They're just going to show up in camp, Cone and Longerbeam. Hopefully they're healthy enough to make it through camp. Terrible injury for Cone last year, as well. Lagerbeam as well. Injuries in camp. They're going to get another shot in camp. I think that's what they're going to get. TJ Tampa was pretty good on his special teams, but he really didn't play much in rotation. That could have been because you had so many good corners ahead of him. So interesting to see now that Jesse Minter's coming in, how he feels about that. Keon Martin had a good camp, had a good start. Kind of his playing time kind of waned as they went down the stretch. So we'll see. All new coaches now too. Keep that in mind. So whatever spot you thought you had, you definitely have to fight now. Definitely not have to fight for it as well. Nate Wiggins, I think, is going to be your default number one corner for sure in 2025. In 2026, Wiggins, I think, is the one guy for sure that's going to be here without the question. I don't think there's any question about whether Nate Wiggins is going to be there as well. Awuzie, I thought was really good last year, but he's 31. He doesn't have a contract, so it'll be interesting to see what happens with him. And Marlon Humphrey, I don't know if we're going to have Marlon next year. I think this is why I have the need. You may be looking for a starter or two if you consider the nickelback the starter as well. Awuzie, a free agent, and Marlon, I don't know if they bring him back. I think Marlon – it's interesting how they feel about Marlon because Marlon, all the PFF grade, all his man-to-man stuff, he's not nearly what he was, but he seems to have a way to get the ball. More interceptions than anybody else. So it's interesting as well. Do you want to keep paying them? I'm pretty sure they don't want to keep paying them what they're paying. But interesting to see there as well. Number 2, offensive guard. I don't think there's any question about it here as well. You need 2 starters. The only reason why it's not 1 is because you may have a starter already here and you don't know it. Emory Jones, I believe they're going to give him every opportunity to be your starting left or right guard next season. I don't think there's any question about that. Voorhees just didn't play well. I think he has still potential. It'll be interesting, really interesting to see what happens. You got a new offensive line coach that we just mentioned as well. Voorhees, I think I don't think he's as bad as he gets joked on, and because I think he just needs to get stronger. I think I'd like to see him get in the weight room and really get 20 pounds of muscle strength. I think that's his biggest thing. He's not strong enough at times as well. And Falele, please go to New York. Please go to New York. Todd Monken, there's another one now. You got Todd Monken as a head coach. Go to the dog pound as well. They gotta replace these guys. They gotta replace. You need at least 2 starters. I think this is definitely veterans they're going to look at. Interested to see what Eric DeCosta says tomorrow about free agency. They talk about that during the Jesse Minter press conference as well. But this is something that you need. You this is 9-1-1 stuff as well. The biggest need is the pass rush. Last game of the year, the great Chris Collinsworth said at the end of the game is the reason the Ravens don't make the playoffs is the edge rush. I totally agree. The edge rush was very subpar. When Matabuke possibly never coming back, that's going to be a problem for them, absolutely, as well. I start at the top. Mike Green, I think, is going to start most likely, barring some Max Crosby, Hendrickson, something like that. You're definitely going to have him as one of your starters. Again, kind of like what I said before, he's potential. I think he's going to be pretty good. When I say potential, I mean that seriously. I think he's really has some talent in him as well. He's just not strong enough all the time. I think that's kind of the only thing I see with him as well. Dre'Mont Jones, no problem with him as a third guy as well. I think that's a definite thing as well. Decent. Understand we're going to have a new system as well. I definitely think you're looking for an upgrade, though. Definitely think you're looking for an upgrade. He did what he came to do. I think I have no problem with signing him. I don't see Kyle Van Noy coming back. I'd be surprised. Not as good last year. Getting older, new coach. I don't think you're going to have Kyle Van Noy. A lot of people like Tavius Robinson. I'm just not with you. I think Tavius is a good, solid backup. That's about it. I really think he's too slow for the edge sometimes. I think that's his biggest problem. I think he sets the edge well. I think if you had like J.J. Watt on the other side and him or somebody you just wanted him to set the edge or more traditional, fine. Maybe a Jarrett Johnson type. Best you hope for him. But I don't see him as a long-term starter. Adiza Isaac, we haven't gotten anything from him. I don't remember him playing any regular season games. He's been injured pretty much the whole time. And pretty sure you're going to say goodbye to David Ojabo. Shout out to him for being still in the roster. Ojabo's just hasn't given enough production. I think I kind of put him in the Anthony Poindexter category. With the injuries, just not the same. There you go. Team needs. So, what are the Ravens' needs? So, those are the things that the Ravens are going to look at in the offseason. Next week, we're going to talk about free agent targets.